In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
We're having a fun time here. I'm getting emails from my buddy Pete Brownell. He says, "Well, I supposed to be on the show today?" No. You're on next week, Pete. Don't worry. Relax. It's okay. Saw Pete out in at the NASGW show in Little Rock. In fact, had some real good conversations with Pete about kind of where we are politically. Of course, you may know that Pete's not only on the board of the NRA, but he's in a position to end up being second and then vice president, then president of the NRA in a few years. So a lot of cool things. We may be able to get him to talk about that next week, or we may just talk gear and cool stuff that Brownells is up to. Don't know. But so don't worry, Pete, relax. You got another week off, so that'll work for you. All righty, let me talk. And those of you on hold, please just hang in there, okay? We're going to get to you. But this is a very important story. The FDIC, that's the Banking Regulatory Agency, and the Justice Department got together and decided that there were certain businesses that I guess they just figured we should just put them out of business. And so got together and told the banking industry, look, there's some companies out there, there's some industries that you may not want to be seen doing business with. Just as regulators, we're just kind of letting you know it might not be good for you to be doing business with certain industries. You know what I mean? Kind of wink, wink, nod, nod. You know what I mean? You might not, I mean, not that we're saying anything, but we're saying one of the industries they said is firearms, gun dealers. And as a result, this is part of the Operation Choke Point. And you've heard about this. It's real. It exists. And as a result, you had banks and lending institutions telling gun stores, you know, we're just going to cancel your account. We're not going to do business with you. We're not going to process your credit card transactions. Well, if you're a retail industry, a retail business, you're in trouble. Well, somebody's doing something about that, and I'm delighted at this point to bring in United States Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer. And I hope I got that right, Congressman, your last name. But welcome to Gun Talk.
You did very well, Tom. Thank you very much. Good to be with you this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, you are in Missouri. What part of Missouri? Where's your district?
Well, I live in central Missouri, but it extends all the way to the suburbs, exurbs around St. Louis. So I've got the central part of the state all the way to the eastern side next to the Mississippi rivers. Well,
I'm an old project is probably right, a product of Mizzou's J School from a long, long time ago. So I know right where you are.
Mm-hmm. I used to have Columbia in my district, and I live close to Lake of the Ozarks, just south of Jefferson City.
There you go. All right, so I was trying to explain what this Operation Choke Point is, and I got to tell you, this sounds like one of the maybe the most un-American activities I have ever heard our government being involved with, and basically coercing the banking industry to shut down businesses. Is that a fair representation as you know it?
No, you did a great job of explaining it. When you say shut down, you know, their mantra is to choke off, which is where they get the choke point from, to choke off financial services, and therefore the industry and the entity, the business entity, will just go away because, as you did a very good job of describing, they no longer have financial services and they're not able to do business. And so, if you look at what's going on, they've got, I think, an ideological bent here. They started out with the excuse that they were going to try and go after people laundering money through the payday loan industry and the non-deposit lenders. But also on this list, the FDIC had a list of about 25 different businesses up on their website, and we created so much havoc that they finally took the list down. And so I fired off a letter to them and said, "That's wonderful, you took the list down. Does that mean you stopped going after all these entities? All we have now is a more of a transparency problem, and we're going to have to watch even more closely because what you're doing is you're going into the gun manufacturers, gun ammunition, gun shops, tobacco shops, credit dealers, debt dealers, coin dealers. The problem is that they're going after an entire industry. I support going after the bad guys, but they're going after everybody. They're just cutting off people because they are in that industry. And the NRA president the other day in his September letter in his magazine had a good excerpt from a letter to a Florida firearms dealer, and it said, "This letter in no way reflects any derogatory reasons for such actions on your behalf, rather one of industry. Unfortunately, your company's line of business is not commensurate with the industries we work with." And it's a bank letter to a firearms dealer saying, hey, nothing wrong with you. You're just in the wrong industry. And
we should point out here, Congressman, I think it's important to point out to everybody who may have missed it, we're talking about companies that are engaged in absolutely legal endeavors, and even more so, dealing in constitutionally protected endeavors. And the U.S. government, through the Justice Department and the FDIC, has said, we're going to drive you out of business, not because you've done anything illegal. We're not going to charge you with a crime. We're just going to crush you because we can and because we don't like what you do.
That's exactly right. They've just taken a position. And, in fact, we caught an FDIC examiner that made the statement. He said that they don't have the moral right to exist. I just went bonkers whenever I heard that. I called the FDIC number 2 person in my office, and we went round and round. I said, you are not the moral police. You are there to enforce the law. You let our society and the people of this country decide what businesses they want to do business with. And these people have made the conscious decision to go after businesses. The Government Oversight Reform Committee got a hold of over 700 emails of the Department of Justice. I guess they didn't get the memo from the IRS to destroy them all. But anyway, they got a hold of them, and in those memos, the Justice Department even discusses among themselves that they don't think they have the legal right to do this. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Now, this is the chief law enforcement branch, the prosecutor of the laws of this country, and they don't think they got the legal right to do this, and yet are doing it.
Do it anyway.
And within these emails, they also say that they believe that they don't have the resources to be able to go after the money launderers one-on-one. Instead, they think if they can do away with an entire industry, they get rid of all the bad guys, and all the good guys, the people who are doing legitimate business in a legitimate way, are just collateral damage. Now, Tom, you made a question a while ago that this is un-American. This is absolutely un-American. This goes against everything that we as Americans believe in, the ability of individuals to do business in an entrepreneurial way, in a legal way. We are a country of laws and not lawless enforcers here, which is what we've got going on. This has got to stop, and we've taken some steps to try and do that.
Well, and I just want to point out, before we get to that, we want to make sure that everybody understands also, these are stores that are, the bad guys aren't buying guns with credit cards. They're doing cash transactions on the street. The bad guys don't walk in with a credit card and then submit to an FBI background check in a store. It's stupid. I mean, certainly it's ludicrous, but it's just stupid for anybody to say, well, we're going to cut down on illegal transactions. I mean, these are like the most legal, when the FBI has to okay every single transaction as they do now, that just makes no sense. So, Congressman, what are you doing about this?
Well, we first started out to try and get them to send a memo out to all their examiners and their attorneys in the DOJ to say, hey, look, as long as the business is doing legal business, you need to leave them alone. And which they agreed to do, but obviously they haven't stopped. So then we said, okay, if you're not going to stop, then we have to offer a bill. And we offered a bill, dropped the bill about a month ago to try and do that. And in fact, we're tweaking it as we speak to try and make it even better. One of the other things that we've done is to try and we put an email platform out there to try and get stories that we can show these people when we go back and talk to them that they're not, they haven't stopped. They continue to do this and continue to build a case for us to do a better job of being able to stop them legislatively. And we've got the email address is chokepointstory@mail.house.gov. Again, chokepointstory@mail.house.gov. And if you know of someone or you yourself experience being choked off from financial services, send your story to this email. We want to know about it. We can provide you anonymity. We want to know what's going on. We want to build a case to be able to go against these people and explain to my colleagues in Congress what's going on, and these folks have got to be stopped and stopped now. We had a hearing a couple months ago, and a former FDIC chairman, this is the chairman of the whole FDIC insurance department, came in and made the comment. He said, this is the most dangerous program. In his 45 years of being involved in the banking business as a consultant, as the FDIC chairman, and as a bank owner, and as a regulator. Now, this is the former FDIC chairman making that comment. That is just unbelievable what these people are doing.
Okay, here's the question then. If the House passes a bill, it goes to the Senate, it's not going to go anywhere. Harry Reid's not going to let it happen. If it should happen to get out of the Senate, it's got to go to the president's desk. He's not going to sign it. So if you're working on a bill there, the success of that completely depends upon the success of the midterm elections and getting control of the Senate. Would that be a fair representation?
Absolutely, yeah. That's one. We're doing a multi-pronged approach here, though, where we want to go after them legislatively and stop the nonsense and push back. And you're right. Until the Republicans take over the Senate, we're probably going to get any help from the Senate, and the president may or may not sign it. But I think this is going to be a pretty bipartisan bill. I've got a lot of folks on the other side of the aisle to support me in this, and I think that we're going to be able to get something if we get it through the Senate. There'll be a bipartisan bill on the president's desk, and he's going to take a look at that. The other thing that we're doing also is trying to get there's a whole bunch of 25 different groups, industries on that list, and there's 10 or 15 of them that are legitimate businesses that are large industries that need to be engaged in pushing back. And we had a meeting with those folks and their associations, and the gun manufacturers, NRA, those folks are intimately involved in this, to get them on board, to get them to go back and talk to their members. Explain to them what's going on. If you know of the situation, get back to us. This is an all-hands-on-deck approach to try and get everybody that's being affected by this to work together and push back, because if we don't push back, they're going to push us off the cliff, and that can't happen.
Absolutely. Congressman, appreciate Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer from Missouri. I appreciate what you're doing. Let me make sure I got that email address right. It's chokepointstory@mail.house.gov. Is that it?
That's correct, Tom.
All right. We will. If anybody has any stories about this, if you're at a gun store, you've run into this, please send it to chokepointstory@mail.house.gov. Congressman, thank you so much. I wish you luck with it. Please keep us posted.
Will do, Tom. Thank you for all you do. Take care.
All right. You take care. All right. 866-TALK-GUN. We are now open lines. Give us your range reports.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner, you'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't it be cool if you could use your AR magazines in a bolt-action rifle? Now you can with Mossberg's MVP rifles. The patent-pending design is a first for bolt-action rifles. Choose from 5.56 and 223 to 204 Ruger, 300 AAC Blackout, and 308 Varmint, Predator, Patrol, and MVP Flex System models. Adjustable trigger too. AR mags in a bolt rifle. The Mossberg MVP. See more at mossberg.com.
Springfield Armory presents the Gear Up promotion. Until October 31st, customers who purchase any new Springfield Armory pistol can sign up to receive 3 additional magazines and a free double bag pouch by visiting gearup.springfield-armory.com. That's a value of up to $135. XDs, XDMs, the XDS, and all 1911s. To learn about all the Springfield Armory firearms, go to springfield-armory.com.
Brownells proudly celebrates 75 years of history and heritage as the world's first choice for firearms, accessories, ammunition, and gunsmithing tools. So whether you're a gunsmith in need of parts and supplies, a new shooter looking for the perfect holster, or a skilled competitor seeking the latest gear, Brownells has what you need. And best of all, every purchase comes with the industry's only forever satisfaction guarantee. Visit us at brownells.com.
Famous radio consultant once said he'd be off the air in a year. Whoops! Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on over 150 radio stations nationwide. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. 866 Talk Gun. We were talking a minute ago with the Congressman about Operation Choke Point. It reminded me of a story that broke last week. Buckeye Firearms Group in Ohio did a membership drive, a promotion. They were really successful, crazy successful. The only problem was, once it got kicked off, the credit card vendor that handles Buckeye Firearms Association shut it down. The credit card vendor said there were too many people signing up. It couldn't possibly be real. It couldn't possibly be that there are that many people interested in gun rights. It couldn't possibly be that there are that many gun owners out there. This must be some sort of scam. I don't know what they were thinking. Money laundering? I don't know what. They shut it down. It reminds me of when I started doing Gun Talk Radio some 20 years ago. And I would talk to people who weren't in our world, and they said, well, yeah, but I mean, come on. How many people could possibly be interested in a show about guns? One guy said, maybe you get 3 or 4 or 5 stations, who knows? Yeah, right, 187, 188. Just picked up another one this week. They don't know, I guess is my point. They think we are 3%. 4% of the population, because the media tells them that we are marginal. They try to marginalize us. They make us, they use words like extreme. And therefore, you get a credit card company that says, wow, they're getting hundreds or thousands of people who are supposedly spending money, making donations, joining a gun rights group. This has to be bogus. It can't possibly be true. They got it fixed, but it's a reminder. There is an effect of the continuous drip, drip, drip of media misinformation, of intentional media misinformation. When you are marginalized, it becomes possible and easy and even attractive for some people to attack you, to think you're nothing, to, drive you out of business. So here we have the United States government, Justice Department. By the way, you do get that the Justice Department is supposed to be enforcing the laws. But then again, that's the whole Eric Holder Justice Department. By the way, his number 2 guy, and more guns, which we knew they would, more guns from the Fast and Furious debacle have shown up at crimes. The Fast and Furious, that's where our government arranged for gun smugglers to illegally buy guns and take them into Mexico to deliver them to narco-terrorists, knowing that they would be used in crimes. There was never a botched operation. It worked perfectly. It worked exactly as designed. There was never a part of the program that was designed to track the guns. This is critical to understand. Fast and Furious had nothing to do with tracking guns. The plan was make sure the bad guys have guns, and then we'll go get them at the crime scenes. So, more Fast and Furious guns are being used in crimes. More Fast and Furious guns are being used to kill people. The number 2 guy at Justice just resigned. Coincidentally, only hours after he was called on the carpet about that. Yeah, coincidentally, on Thursday. Eric Holder's gone. As several people said, well, he should have left the building in handcuffs. Yeah, that's going to happen. I don't think so. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. It's just not going to happen. Okay? Let's talk to Chuck on line 3 in South Carolina. Hey, Chuck, what's this about cartridges you're trying to figure out?
Well, I have 2 rifles, one American, Ruger American in .308, and I have, that's Bolt, and I have a DPMS semi-automatic in .308, and I'm wondering if the 7.82 NATO and the Winchester .308 cartridges can be used in both guns.
They can. You're talking about the 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge and the .308 Winchester cartridge are absolutely interchangeable. You can go back and forth between them, so don't worry about it. By the way, you got some nice guns there. Those are nice. I like the Ruger American, and obviously love any AR-10 style. AR-10 is just the big boy version of an AR-15. They have to make it bigger to be able to handle the .308 cartridge. By the way, a lot of those were being shown. New ones introduced at the NASGW show I just went to in Little Rock. I think semi-auto .308s are back.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
You're not going to believe this one. South Carolina? Yep, South Carolina. Prosecutors in Charleston say that, yes, South Carolina has passed a stand your ground law. The only thing is, they say that it does not apply to women who are defending themselves in domestic violence cases. In cases of women who claim they feared for their lives when confronted with violent, intimate abusers, prosecutors say the stand your ground law shouldn't apply. Quote, the legislature's intent was to provide law-abiding citizens greater protections from external threats in the form of intruders and attackers. Prosecutor Culver Kidd told the Post and Courier, quote, we believe that applying the statute so that its reach into our homes and personal relationships is inconsistent with its wording and intent. In other words, you can have the protection of stand your ground only outside your home, but not inside your home. All those women who were thinking they had the state's help, the prosecutors' help, the DA's help in protecting themselves against domestic abusers, not so much in South Carolina. Wow. I mean, just wow. Oh, we had a caller earlier who was asking, he said, the Gallery of Guns, and we mentioned them, their distributor, part of Davidson's, GalleryGuns.com. Great website, great place to find guns. So, but they don't have SIGs. Well, here's the thing. Not all distributors handle all gun manufacturers. Gallery Guns has great relationships with a number of different companies. Lipsy's, for instance, is a distributor down in Louisiana, and they do a lot of work with SIG. If you want to buy direct and have it shipped to your dealer, you can go to one of our sponsors, which is Top Gun Supply, topgunsupply.com, and they have a lot of really good deals on SIG guns, and you can buy them there. They get shipped to your local dealer. So there's a lot of ways to go about that, but not all distributors sell all brands or makes of guns. So just got to straighten that thing out a little bit for you. By the way, I went to the Springfield Armory website, looking right now, springfield-armory.com. This promotion ends at the end of this month. It's a crazy good promotion. If you buy one of their pistols, XD, XDM, XDS, 1911, you get 3 free magazines, additional magazines, and 1 mag pouch, up to about $135 value. Pretty cool. Springfield-armory.com. Smith & Wesson has deals going. Other makers have great deals going right now. It's a crazy time, good time for us as consumers to be buying stuff. Pretty neat stuff. Let me talk to Todd. He's on line 2 in Kansas. Hey, Todd, how are you?
Hey, pretty good, Tom. I'm going to pull over on the road so I don't wreck while I'm talking to you. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I've learned a lot listening to you on my Sunday drive.
Now, I understand that you are a banker.
Yes, I am. I concealed carry holder and proud that our bank doesn't have those stupid signs on it that say that they disallow people carrying a gun in there, and that makes us a little rare.
Okay. So you heard the story. You heard the congressman talk about Operation Choke Point. Have you run into that?
No, and that's what I had called in about. The good news is apparently this maybe isn't as widespread as what you may be led to believe, because I've been banking 30 years, and while it may be something recent, I haven't heard anything of it. Plus, my son is an FDIC examiner, and I've never heard him discuss it, you know. The other thing is that it's typical of the government not knowing one arm what the other hand's doing. Is I'm working with a company that's going into being a FFL dealer and selling guns and doing concealed training, and we need to get an SBA guarantee, and so far haven't had any problems getting the government's help to get a guarantee on that.
Well, so I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's pretty common for one agency to not know what the other's doing. I would be very interested if you could specifically ask your son to look into it. If he's an FDIC examiner, ask him about Operation Choke Point and any memos or anything he's gotten about that mention the firearms industry. That would be fascinating.
Yeah, and what I'll do is as soon as I do that, I'll email you so you have it for your next show.
That would be great. Tom at guntalk.com will get you there. Let me ask you, you're talking about there's a company starting a new retail operation with training and all, and they're getting an SBA loan, Small Business Administration loan, and I gather they've probably done the due diligence and the research. What have they come up with when they said, where's the market here? What's the research showing?
You know, well, what this little startup company has found is, A, there's a big need for it. Yeah, we have gun dealers in the locality, but nobody's given them doing classes and stuff like that on concealed carry, and that's why this guy thinks he's got a special niche, because he's going to be doing these classes, and more than just concealed carry classes, the classes that you talk about in your DVDs and whatnot that are the next level of training, and it would be logical then that these people would turn around and look at his guns to buy. Sure.
I got to tell you, I think any gun store, if they really want to sell guns, they need a range. And any range, if they really want any business, they have to have a store associated with their range. You got to have the two together if you possibly can. Do me a favor, if you would, Todd, when you find out anything from your son, shoot me an email. I'd like to know more about what he comes up with. Very, very interesting stuff out there. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, I got to talk to Josh. Shooting downhill with a 7 mag. Yeah, I have the answer. It's very interesting what happens when you shoot at severe angles, either up or down. We'll talk about that. You can join us, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
Weather can affect your shot. Extreme cold, extreme hot, no matter what, Australian Outback Ammo has you covered. Ammunition loaded to shoot the same spot every time. And now Australian Outback offers 300 blackout with loads from a 125 grain bullet to a 220 grain subsonic load. Check it out at outbackammo.com.au. outbackammo.com.au.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Crossbreed Holsters is broadening our product selection to serve more of your concealed carry needs. With products handmade in the USA, like the bedside backup, gun belts, and of course our world-famous Super Tuck and Mini Tuck holsters, we understand what works, and we take pride in providing you with a quality product. At Crossbreed Holsters, we live and breathe concealed carry. We make and sell products that we believe in and products that our customers love. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where Bore Tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting Bore Tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let Bore Tips help. To find a dealer, visit boretips.com.
There's never a reason to be without your Gun Talk. You can even listen on YouTube. Just search for Gun Talk Radio Show or youtube.com/Gun Talk TV. Now, more Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Hey, don't forget, we're going to do the after show here in about 15 minutes or so. It's fun. You ought to join us. All you have to do is give us a call, 866-TALK-GUN. You can be a part of the after show. We're going to talk about Michael's new revolver that he just picked up. We'll talk about that a little bit and some other things, but you can certainly join us, 866-TALK-GUN. I was mentioning I was at the NASGW show, the Sporting Goods Wholesalers show, in Little Rock this past week. One of the things that we do, kind of a service we perform, is I would go in and gun companies would show us their new guns. And on at least 2 occasions, I pick them up, look at them, and go, You got to be careful how you do this because they're so proud of their guns. And you say, would you consider, then I would make a suggestion or two. And both times, and I don't do this willy-nilly, it's only when I see what I perceive as either an opportunity to make a gun better or a problem with something they're introducing. And I ran into both this past week. And no, I'm not going to tell you who they are. But I made suggestions, and boy, they're scribbling things down and calling back to the factory and go, could we do this? Could we? And so I think in both cases, they're probably going to implement what I was suggesting. So that's always good. It's always fun to help people out. And they go, wow, that's really cool. We hadn't thought of that. So that's a fun thing to do. Now, Josh, we've got him on line 2, call back out of Casper, Wyoming. Thank you for calling back, Josh. What what happened with your 7 mag?
Well, I gotta thanks first off. I really appreciate your show. Shooting downhill at about a 20-degree angle, maybe a little more, at 320 yards. Put my crosshairs right on the elk, and the bullet seems to be getting lift and shooting high on the animal.
Yep.
Like totally missing.
That is perfectly normal, natural, and it's exactly what's going to happen every single time. Now, here's the weird part. It will do the exact same thing if you're shooting up. Whether you're shooting at a high angle or a low angle, you're going to hit high. And here's why. Imagine you've drawn out on a piece of paper a shot that's, call it 350 yards, and it's a nice level shot. Now, if you take that and angle it down at 20, 25, 30 degrees down, the distance, the horizontal distance, straight from left to right or right to left across the paper, from the muzzle to the animal, has decreased.
That's interesting. Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, if you went all the way down and you were shooting straight down or straight up, there'd be 0 horizontal distance. It is the horizontal distance that is the factor on your bullet hitting high or low. And so you have reduced the horizontal distance. In effect, what you have done is you made a shorter shot. So you were sighted in for wherever you were at 325 yards, and in effect, to pick a number, the shot was effectively 250 yards, 200 yards, so you hit high. So typically, if you're going to be down at 20 degrees, either up or down or more, start holding lower on the animal. On an elk, you got a lot to play with. Again, follow Gresham's rule. Always aim at hair on the first shot, always. But I would bring it down and bring it up to maybe 2, 3, 4 inches up from his belly line and let that upward drift bring it back up into the vital area. So let me ask you, did you get him with the second shot?
No, I can't. I didn't see where the first shot hit, and then the second, or the actual third shot, I saw the dirt fly, and then the animals took off on a dead run, and I missed him.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
5-point bull and a 4-point bull together.
And the problem with hitting high, and I've been there, is you don't know where it's going. If you hit low, you can often see the dirt or something kick up. But if it goes over their back, you have no idea. You're just shooting and missing at that point. So, but anyway, that's the takeaway. That's the physics of it all, is if you got an acute angle up or down, the bullet's going to hit high. So you might just keep that in mind for your future hunting.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the call. Let's see here. Garrett, I believe Garrett is line 3 out of California. Hey, Garrett, how you doing?
Yeah, hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, I got a question for you. I got this old Springfield 1903. It's been sporterized. I bought it in an estate sale a few years back, and I'm interested in making it kind of my go-to hunting rifle for deer and whatnot.
Right.
It is tapped for a scope. It had one previously, it seems. I've taken it in, tried to fit it with common scope mounts. It doesn't seem to fit any of them. Right. And I'm wondering if it is worth going to the trouble of getting a scope put on it. I got it real cheap, so I'm just...
I think so. I mean, look, Springfields are great. It's 30-06, I take it, right?
It is.
Okay. I think so because you can end up having a really cool piece of history there. My dad hunted with a Sporterized Springfield 30-06, so I get it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, you could buy a cheap gun and you could get it rigged up, but that's kind of a cool rifle. I would go ahead and chase it a little bit. Tell you what you might want to do. Call the folks at Warren Scope Mounts, W-A-R-N-E. Nice people. I got to know them at the NSGW show this past week. They have some really sharp people. Just call them and say, look, this is what I have. What would be the best way to go? Warren, W-A-R-N-E Scope Mounts. Sharp folks when it comes to, well, mounts, rings, all that stuff. Be right back with more Gun Talk.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Well, sometimes I'm not going to say they get it right. Sometimes they come to their senses when they get smacked across the face. Oh, man, the feds, there's a guy in Glacier Park, 57-year-old Texas man. He shot at a grizzly bear that was charging him on a trail in Glacier. Well, federal prosecutors decided to charge him. Now, the guy had already used his pepper spray, had run out of pepper spray, tried that. The bear's charging him. They're going to charge him with a crime. Well, I think there probably was enough outrage of the "are you out of your freaking mind" type, where they finally said, maybe this is a PR disaster for us. No harm, no foul. No bears got hurt. The guy was protecting himself. It's perfectly legal. Do you carry a bear gun when you're out walking around? If you do, tell you what, call us. We'll talk bear guns during the after show. That's always fun to do. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you here. We'll do some bear gun protection stuff. Line 1, Russ is with us out of California. Hey, Russ.
Hey there, Tom. My question was, I've read articles on personal protection ammunition, and you see that they're really pushing that you only use factory ammunition instead of reloads. Mm-hmm. And that's because they seem to think that there's a good chance of you getting sued by the person you have used it on or by their survivors and stuff. And I wondered what you thought about that. And what actually I've started doing is the factory stuff I buy, I use a green Sharpie and put a green dot on the primer, and the reloaded stuff, I put a little red dot on it because I've got gold dots in both. What do you think?
Okay, interesting. So that way you can identify. I think that's probably a really good idea. And it was really, I guess, the first person to talk about this was Masada Yu. But he said, look, don't be carrying reloads. His point was, this is just, you don't want to introduce this subject into a court proceeding. Well, why did you feel the need to load special killer loads? Wasn't factory loads, weren't those enough for you? Well, if you shoot factory loads, you can eliminate the conversation. And I guess I would throw out two thoughts here. One, you're not going to load ammo that's any better than factory loads for self-defense. You're just not. Number two, cost is not an issue. Even if you loaded up 2 or 3 magazines of double stack, say you spent $20 or $30 or $40 for your carry ammo. BFD, as we say, who cares? Use the cheap ammo at the range, shoot a little bit of your carry ammo, factory ammo, at the range, and make sure that it functions through your gun. But that eliminates the whole conversation of the prosecutor, why did you have to make up special ammo? No, we didn't do that. If you really are paranoid about it, find out what your local police department issues and use the same ammo. Then if you're asked, you can say, I just use the same thing as cops do. They use it to protect their lives. I figured it was good enough for them. It's good enough for me. End of conversation. But no, I don't, I like reloads, and I'll use those for a lot of things, but I don't carry reloads for my carry gun. All right, chance for you to get in on the craziness we call the after show. Call us right now, 866-TALK-GUN. We're going to talk about protecting yourself in national parks, situational awareness, rather than with firearms. Yeah, that's an interesting call coming up. You definitely want to be a part of that one. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Meantime, go do a little shooting. If you get the urge, buy a gun. You'll never have a better time. The prices are great. The selection is wide. Be safe out there.